When I got arrested at 22 years old, I was very immature, reckless.
I'm finally in a position where I'm able to make a positive impact in my community.
The sky's the limit with this program.
Welcome to Prison to Purpose, Building Futures Behind Bars. I'm Michelle Kane, your host. This is going to be a wonderful episode. I'm so glad you're tuning in today. Have you ever thought about pools in prison? Yes, commercial diving inside prison walls, underwater welding inside a prison. It's happening. It's the first of its kind in the nation, and it's been happening since the 1970s. I am joined right now by Kenyatta Kalisana. He is the lead diving instructor. And Kenyatta, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Michelle.
No problem. And this is happening inside California Institution for Men.
Yes.
In Chino.
In Chino, California.
In Chino, California. Correct. And I think a lot of people have no idea that this program is around and how successful it is.
Yes, very successful. It's been around for quite some time. Since the 70s, started out by Leonard Greenstone, who was also a diver himself and a Navy diver, and came up with the great idea to start it for the incarcerated individuals that are, trying to do something with their lives.
And it is very successful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Recidivism, return to custody. How successful is this?
Yes,
program?
so the recidivism rate's probably less than 7%. So, when you come out of the program, that means, you don't go back to prison. And that's what we're striving to achieve.
Yeah. Now, and this program is operated by the California Correctional Training and Rehabilitation Authority, or CALCTRA.
Correct.
And this program, again, is just an award-winning program with credentials, certifications. These guys can get out there in the field and make six figures plus.
Yes, they get out, they can take care of their families, have some, feel good about themselves and what they're doing, help society become tax-paying citizens, and that's what it's all about. So they don't go through that revolving door of recidivism.
Now this program is near and dear to your heart. And I'm going to just cut to the chase.
Yes.
You were formerly incarcerated.
Correct.
You were in this program.
Yes.
And now you're giving back as an instructor. So let's talk about that. Talk about your backstory.
Yeah, so I myself was, I went through the program. I came out in 2008. Didn't know that this program even existed. But, before all of that, I was... I considered myself, I guess, I took a left turn, went to college and everything, but then got lost somewhere. I started selling drugs,
okay.
And one thing led to the other, and it became almost a career. So I did it for quite some time, kept it under wraps from many of my friends and family. And
selling on the streets,
and then it got a little bigger, and so I just I was living two different lifestyles, I kind of disassociated myself from my family and friends that are my true friends, people I went to high school and college with. They had no knowledge of what I was doing as far as on the street. And, how
many years were you doing this?
And I'm going to say, it was through a process of about 10 years going through the revolving door. And I've gone to jail a few times.
Yeah. And was it mainly just drugs, or were you robbing?
No, it was
stealing?
Most of my stuff was just drugs.
Okay.
And that was, with drugs, there's a lot of stuff that is involved with that, but all of my stuff was drugs. No violence. Didn't have any of that on my record, but just drug sales, And so with that, the damage that I was doing to the community, I have to accept my responsibility for the downfall of others, and this, because I wasn't raised like that. Coming to the dive program and having that second chance, really, I jumped 2 feet forward and jumped in it because it was a second chance for me.
And
It saved my life.
It saved your life.
Basically.
It saved your life. And let's go back to your parents. You said you were able to hide this from people. Did your parents know? Did your family know?
So not in the beginning stages. They didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was raised single parent household. My grandmother raised me.
Your grandmother.
Yes. And so
How many kids?
So I had a sister. I have 2 sisters, but they weren't. We were half sisters. So raised in a whole different household than I was. And
where were your parents?
my mother never met my father.
Never met your dad.
Never met my father. So it was just me and my grandmother since I can remember.
And your mom?
My mom is still. My mom now is one of my best friends. So she's still here. My grandmother passed on. My mom is still here, and that's awesome.
And your relationship, you
and
reconciled?
we have a great relationship.
Good.
We've never really had a bad relationship. It's just that I was raised by my grandmother. My mom, when she was young, was a model, and she was running around Europe and Italy and all of those stuff. So that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But
she was tall, because I noticed that you're very tall.
She was tall. She was tall. She was probably one of the first black women on Billboard in Italy.
Wow.
So I have to throw that out there. But
yeah. Shout out to your mom.
Yes. So, so she was young, and she, whatever happened, happened, and I was raised by my grandmother. Yeah.
And so your grandmother, so she didn't know, but then she did know, obviously, because you said you were going back and forth to jail. Right.
So, after a couple of times of me going in and out of jail, and once I went to prison, it was a pretty long time that I was I've
incarcerated.
Right. And I've been incarcerated in prison twice. So I'm what they call a two-time loser, right?
No.
So that's what they say. That's how they refer it, right? I don't consider myself a loser, but I've been to prison twice. Yeah. And so first time I went to fire camp.
Okay.
Where
was that?
This was where did I go to fire camp? I went way up north to Camp Alder.
Okay.
That's up by the Oregon border. Got out. And when I got out, I had a daughter. I still had my place. I still had, my car and all those stuff. And so coming out of prison, I had to keep all of that. I felt I had to pay rent. I had to, do all those things and provide for my daughter. So.
And how long were you in prison that first stint?
I was just in there for 2 years, 18 months or something like that.
Okay.
Right. 3-year term, got halftime because I don't have any violence. And so I stayed in. So when I got out, it was easy for me to get back into the swing of selling drugs to maintain what I had, my lifestyle, correct. And so that didn't last long because, the area that I was in LA, it was just hot, it was easy to go to jail, right? So probably a couple of years later, I went back to prison, and that's when they put those cuffs on me. I told myself, I'm not coming back. My daughter was 3 or 4 years old, and I told myself I'm not going back to prison. And fortunate for me, the dive program had just started when I reached Chino prison, and so that was awesome. Me with a athletic background, having played sports in high school and college, even on the swim team in high school, it was easy for me to make that transition into the dive program because I felt myself as being, physically fit. So, and able also to meet all the qualifications. So I joined the dive program.
How long were you incarcerated or sentenced?
So for that term, I was sentenced for 6 years, and I did 3.
Okay. But the dive program is where it just turned around.
That's where it turned all around. So, at that time, I had probably seen a couple of dive commercials on underwater welding out of Long Beach, because at the time that program was still existing. It doesn't exist anymore, the College of Oceaneering. And it's funny because the instructor from College of Oceaneering, when I was there, happened to, because College of Oceaneering was closing down, happened to come to Chino and teach while I was there. So we had a good rapport. And when the Chino program started back up in 2000 and I want to say 6, Mr. Jeff Powers, who was at College of Oceaneering,
A Navy senior chief. Yes,
Navy senior chief diver, came over to Chino and started working with us. And at that time, it was under the head instructor was Fred Johnson. So Jeff started working with us, and we got along swell. And it went on from there.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that and the dive program itself.
Yes.
And how successful it is when we come back. So we're going to take a quick break. Stick around.
If this episode moved you, hit follow and subscribe to the Prison to Purpose podcast. And remember, no matter where you started, you're always one choice away from a better future.
Welcome back. We are talking with Kenyatta Kalisana. He is the lead diving instructor for California Institution for Men, CALCTRA's dive program, where they teach underwater welding and commercial diving in Chino.
Yes.
The only one in the nation.
Yes.
The only one in the nation.
Yes.
So we were talking about your backstory,
Okay.
formerly incarcerated, and now what was that defining moment that you said, okay, I am never going to go back to prison. I'm going to do all that I can do to never be in this situation again.
So it was before, it was the moment they put the cuffs on me. So
Yeah.
it was a time where, where we get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And what happened that day was whatever was going down. When they put those cuffs on me, my daughter's face flashed in front of my eyes. And, I just, at that moment, I told myself, this can't happen again. Because, it's just, we, of course, our children are dear to us.
Yeah.
And
you want her to be proud of her dad.
right. And, one of my fears too was having my daughter call someone else daddy. So,
Yeah.
so you don't want that.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so at that time, when they put those cuffs on and my daughter flashed in front, it didn't have to be dive school. I was going to find something else to do that was productive, and
And change your life.
and change my life. So, so the man upstairs put me where I needed to be, and dive school was just starting out when I got there. I was a clerk at first before the dive school actually kicked off, but we were in the mix of getting the program fixed up and ready to go. And I was in the clerk's office. I was working as a clerk, and I talked to all the counselors, and I told them that's where I want to go. It was either that or water treatment or something of that nature, or welding. And so I chose the dive program. And at that time, Jeff Powers was not there yet, but we had
And Jeff Powers was the instructor over the program, great man,
Right.
senior Navy chief.
Yes.
Who was giving back
Right.
and working and teaching
Correct.
the students in the program.
Correct. So at that time, we also had Fred Johnson, who was the head and was the organizer of getting it back together and getting it back. And then I guess early 2007 is when Jeff Powers transferred over from College Oceaneering and became an instructor there. And what Jeff had to teach, he's been teaching for years. He's taught a lot of divers in the industry, commercial diving. Even my assistant instructor, Dave Calvert, and that's a beautiful story on how we met and how things went through. But,
and we'll be talking to him in a later episode.
Yes, but so Jeff Powers came into the program and taught us everything he knows.
So let's talk about the program and how rigorous it was. And so, okay, so here you go. You get signed up for dive school. You're a clerk.
Yes.
And they call your name, right? They say you have been accepted into this program.
Right, correct.
Talk about day one and walk us through it.
So day one with Jeff Powers, it was very welcoming. The guys, the students there, welcome you in. They wanted to see how we swam. So the first thing they're going to do is throw you in the water. And at that time, it was in the 40s. The pool was in the 40s. And, I had a chip on my shoulder because I knew I could swim pretty well.
Yeah, and there's some guys that don't know how to swim at all.
That's correct.
And it's fine. They teach them how to swim.
Right.
So that's not one of the prerequisites of the program. Correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So, talking with the guys before I got in the program, if you tell them you can swim, especially guys that are already in the program, well, a lot of people just do a lot of talking, right? So, I was talking, but I was serious, and so they want to see that, So they want to see if you can actually fit the bill that And so they threw me in the water with one other guy, and it was so cold that guy tapped out. Probably did one lap or two, if that, and he got out of the pool. I continued to swim because you have to do 10 laps, and and not tap out. But and when I swam like I was in high school, like I was back on the swim team. I did a flip turn, and everybody went, and so that kind of put me in, with the fellas and
it is a brotherhood, right? There's such a kinship.
Is.
There's such a I mean, you can go into the dive program and you can see the black and white photos from the 1970s of every graduating class.
Most definitely.
And talk about that bond, like once you're in with the guys.
Right. So the diving industry altogether is a brotherhood, especially
and sisterhood. We should say, right? There's
correct.
a lot of female divers now.
Correct. Especially us Chino hands, who we take care of each other, and especially it's like a fraternity almost. Coming from the Chino dive school, we have that bond, and and it transcends everywhere. Diving in itself is a bond because our teachings are pretty much the same, and we got to remember that we have another person's life on the other end of that line. So you have to trust each other and trust each other's training, and that's the beauty of it. Trusting your training,
because it is very risky.
Yes.
And explain the training that you had to endure, and then now you're teaching others. So
yes.
So talk about the training that you encountered.
So at Chino, it's very vigorous. I've endured some vigorous training from the swimming in cold water. We have something called the pit of pain, where we try to, get you pretty riled up as far as
the waves, just to kind of get you ready for
yes,
the waves, because waves are crashing
guys
on you.
Yelling and screaming on you. It's sort of a military style training. Guys screaming and throwing water on you, putting water in your snorkel while you're doing push-ups. squats.
But they're
and all this
they're
stuff.
getting you ready for the ocean.
They're getting you ready for the ocean that has that has so many different types of. It's such a big, serious environment.
Yeah.
You have live, you have sharks, you have snakes, you have jellyfish. You also have the currents, you have the waves, crashing down on you. So it's getting us ready for that.
And people apply to be in this program. No one's forced to be in this program. It's like people.
Right.
You have that pride,
Right,
when you go through it.
That's correct. A lot of people want it. Not everybody's going to be a diver. And
How many people drop out of the program? Right.
out of 10 people that apply, I'm going to say 7 might drop.
Wow. It's tough.
It's that tough.
But it's that successful too.
It's that successful. It's been more successful over the years. Right now we're holding around 20 guys in the program. So yeah, it's pretty well.
And did you ever think that you would be teaching the program? So, and I'm going to back up a little bit. So you went through the program.
Correct.
You got your certifications. We partner with ADCI, the Association of Diving Contractors International.
Yes.
You got your diving certifications,
Yes.
right? And then let's get you to the gate. You're out. Mm-hmm. Now what?
So for me, and everybody's different. For me, I waited until I got off parole before I went out to actually go out to one of the companies in the Gulf and start diving. Some guys could immediately go out based on whatever, they can get a transfer and this, that, and the other out to the Gulf of Mexico. We have dive companies in Long Beach. We have they're everywhere. So for me, I waited and spent some time with my grandmother, spent some time with my daughter.
And how old was your daughter at this time then?
My daughter was 5.
5. Okay.
And so I was able to spend some time with my daughter and do some odd jobs until I got off parole. And the beautiful thing of it is I already had a job before I got out. I sent out my resumes. I talked to a couple of companies. One company that accepted me was Specialty Diving, and that's where I went when I got off parole.
Here you had a job right then and there.
Yes, I had a job before
What
I
a
got out.
blessing that is.
Yes. And so I felt on top of the world, to know that a company would accept me with a felony and where you can make good money and take care of your family. So, and me doing these odd jobs, I even had some offer me full-time work and I turned it down because I wanted to be a diver. And so, and pursue that dream and that goal. And that's what I did. So I went to the Gulf of Mexico after 11 months of me being in California after I got out of prison and started working for Specialty Diving, where I immediately went offshore and had a successful career.
So, yeah, and what did you do out in the Gulf? You were out in the Gulf, building bridges, cleaning hulls of ships. What?
Yeah, so I became a freelancer diver. And the thing about being a freelance diver is you tend to do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So in me, I went where the work was at. So if things got slow at one company, I would go to the next, and never burning a bridge at the old company because I could always go back. And I let them know I'm a freelancer. And so I worked in the Gulf doing pipeline work, worked on platforms, cleaning platforms, demo and all that stuff. And then I also did a lot of inland work as well. And I found myself more geared towards the inland. One, because of my size, and two, I just, you can go home most of the time and do a lot of travel, but at the same time, we were working on rivers, dams, pile driving, assisting pile drivers.
And pile
inspecting.
driving, if people don't know, I know the term, but some
Yes.
people may not know pile driving.
Yeah, so the pile driving industry is what builds our foundations of bridges, docks, piers, everything. When we're driving over the freeways, we're driving over piles that are driven down into the earth so that structure can sit on top of. And a lot of the times when it's done by the ocean or in the water, we need divers. We need divers to inspect. We need divers to sample the soil. We need divers to do all of that. That's by the water. So we work hand in hand with pile drivers. And when we get out, and let's say we were going into a union, we would go into a pile drivers union, which would host a bunch of dive companies within that union, and we would get a job.
Yeah.
So,
which you now work for a union, the carpenters.
Correct.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Come back and talk about the success of the program and talk about where you see it going and where is Kenyatta going.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Stick around.
This episode of Prison to Purpose, Building Futures Behind Bars proves that no one is defined by their worst mistake. Every day, incarcerated men and women are rebuilding their lives through job training, mentorship, and second chances. This podcast exists to amplify those voices, stories of true grit and purpose.
Welcome back, Prison to Purpose. We are talking with Kenyatta Kalisana, lead instructor for the dive program inside prison, inside Chino, inside the California Institution for Men.
Yes.
What a successful program that is. Let's go back. You were talking about Gulf of Mexico. You had this lucrative career,
Yes.
making pretty good money
Yes. So
as a diver.
Right. So, like I said, I was a freelance diver, and I was working in California. I was working in the union, and went back to the Gulf of Mexico. I think I left that part out where I was started out in the Gulf. I came to California, was in the union as well, pile drivers union, and a particular job came up in the Gulf of Mexico in Mississippi, and I went back down to the Gulf to get on this job, which was a 3-year project, and I got on with about a year and a half left to go. Awesome job. We were building a foundation underneath the casino because Hurricane Katrina wiped out all the casinos in Mississippi, moved them off. Some of them were moved across the street and this, that, and the other. And so we were sent out there, a team of divers, to make a dry dock underneath the casino to where they can actually dewater the place and set it down if a hurricane was to come in that area. And awesome job, met some great divers, lifelong friends, and fell in love with that area of Biloxi area on the Gulf of Mexico.
And making good money, correct?
Making good money. So
how much?
in Mississippi, I would say 90,000 is 120,000.
Yeah.
Probably around that. But that's good money in Mississippi in 2013. And I was able to buy a home. I bought a home in Mississippi in Ocean Springs, and on an old golf course that got damaged during Katrina. So and at that time, houses were going for cheap because people were moving, I guess, away from that area due to the hurricane. And stumbled on this home. I was house shopping, and my realtor found this home, and I love it. So I was able to buy a home. There was a time where I had my daughter living with me and put her in high school. So I was living the dream.
That's awesome.
And so I was out in the Gulf probably for a few years before I stayed out in the Gulf maybe 10, 15 years, and took other jobs.
You said you were a freelancer.
Was a freelancer, was even a welder, worked at Ingalls Shipyard as a welder, close to home when I had my daughter with me. I also did, so then I worked offshore as well, and worked in ROVs and rigging. I worked for a company.
ROV, what's
ROVs, robotic, all the robotic stuff that they use offshore to do pipeline work and stuff like that. So at that time when I was working offshore, doing 28 days on, 2 weeks off and stuff like that, I found out that Chino had a position open for a dive instructor. So I immediately applied, and here I am today.
And how wonderful
Yes.
is that?
Yes.
Here, the program that you graduated from back in 2008,
Yes.
and now you are the lead instructor for the
Correct.
program.
Correct.
Because Senior Chief Powers retired
Right.
and left, and now you have the program at your hands.
Yes.
And how is the program run? And how's the program? What does it look like now?
The program's awesome. We're still, trucking along. We're still running it like the military style, even though I was never in the military, but I remember how it was ran when I was there. So it's awesome coming back and giving back to these guys so they can see actually how it worked. When I first applied, I just threw it out there, not knowing that the great CALCTRA would bring me back in. And I didn't know that, they take pride in hiring individuals that were previously incarcerated into their programs to especially come back and train other incarcerated individuals.
And it makes a difference too, because I'm sure the guys in the program have, I don't want to say more respect, but I would imagine respect for you because you've walked in their shoes.
Correct. So, yeah,
or in there, or worn those those scuba
blues.
suits or blues, whatever you call them, right? Yeah.
Right. So having somebody tangible that they can actually talk to and touch and take notes about what to do next and how did you do it and this, that, and the other, it just gives you that much more. They respect you a lot more, and it's hard to find a commercial diver out there to really teach. I think at the time they were looking for anybody with scuba certs and this, that, and the other, and it's like, no, you can't do that. So no, it was awesome. So the guys really look up to myself and David Calvert as of being previously incarcerated and coming back into the program. It's awesome for us, and it's awesome for them. So we're here to stay.
Well, I'm glad you're here to stay. And these guys, like you said, it is a brotherhood. It is intense. I can't even imagine welding underwater.
Yes.
What is that like? And I'm sure there is risk involved.
Yes.
That you guys watch for each other. And I'm sure all the yard politics, it has to go aside. Like you got to value that person's life.
Right. That's one of the things we teach right offhand is, don't bring those prison politics in there. There's no color lines. And they're, if you're willing to change your life and turn your life around, of course, that's got to be put on the back burner. And that means not just at dive school, that means you got to drop that even when you get back to the yard. Back in the day when I was there, they even tried to house us all together so that we stay like-minded, study together, and stuff like that. So, and we try to keep it the same as well, so that there's no, there's no outside influences. These guys can stay together and get through the program.
Yeah, because you're studying diving physics. I mean, it's very intense.
Right, intense program where we teach, physiology, physics, treatment charts, chamber operations, and the commercial diving aspect, along with the physical agilities and stuff that we teach there and that they have to go through. It's just, you're too tired to do anything else.
Yeah. And are you finding that these guys just have great success when they leave?
They have success with themselves as far as finding out that, they can do anything that their mind says that they can do. What they set their mind out to do, they can tackle it. And that's what makes them successful once they get out. They don't take no for an answer, because I didn't. When I was denied a TWIC card or denied a Merchant Mariner's document, I didn't take no for an answer. You just have to wait. So you're learning, they're working on patience, and patience is what it's all about. That's what got me where I am today. Instead of going for the fast money, and taking shortcuts, we teach them to endure and do the hard work, because that's what I
love
what
saying embrace the uncomfortable.
Right.
Embrace the uncomfortable.
Right.
And how many of all of us have been in that situation?
It's okay to fail, and once you learn that it's okay to fail, then you can be successful. And that's one of the things we teach, and they love it.
Well, they absolutely love you, and I've seen that respect and that enthusiasm that you give to all of the students in that program. And CALCTRA is so fortunate to have you, and as well as the Carpenters Union. How does that tie in? You guys now work for carpenters, but also work for CALCTRA.
Right.
So how does that all work?
Right. So it's a double-edged sword right now. We just
but a good sword. Not
very much.
Yeah.
Very much. Very much. It's sharp. Because what it brings to the table for our guys as well is more opportunities to get out, join the union, get benefits, take care of your family. And we've been trying to go that route for some time. Timing is everything. We knocked on the right doors, and it happened. So it's good for us as well too, because we were now that we as instructors, we get benefits as well. So
that's wonderful. And it's Western States Carpenters?
Western States Carpenters Union. And we're out of Local 562. So it's an awesome program. We can recruit our guys to join the union and send them to the right direction. Even we're so, it's national. The union is national, so we can send our guys that come from up north to locals up that way, to locals all over the nation. And now we're recognized.
And it's all about finding a job when they leave, right? A career.
And making good money.
And making good money to provide for themselves, their families.
Right. So, what we tell our guys is, all your buddies that you used to hang out with, when you come out of this program, you're going to surpass them in 6 months with all the certs that you're going to get, with the benefits that you're going to get, and all your buddies are still out there on the corner, not doing anything at all. And you've been down 5-10 years. It doesn't matter. If they're still doing the same thing that you guys were doing, you're going to surpass them in 6 months.
And
hands down.
Hands down.
Yes.
And I just want to, I wish I could just applause right here for your story, sharing your story with us. Let's get back to your daughter. I bet your daughter is so proud of you.
Yes. Yes, my daughter's proud.
Your mom.
My mom, the family's proud. I feel like now, now I'm, where I'm at now, I can be the rock of the family. I am pretty much the only boy. So I have 2 sisters, my mom, my daughter, surrounded by women. So I can be the rock and the stand-up guy that I'm supposed to be. And that's what it's all about.
Kenyatta, thank you so much. you are a rock, and you are so valuable and instrumental in helping shape those men that are going through that program right now. So
Thank you.
again, we applaud you for all your work
you.
at the dive school in Chino. They're
Yes.
called Chino Divers.
Chino Divers.
You can even just Google them.
Yes.
And I know CNN, you've had a lot of media cover
Right.
the dive program through the many years, and what a successful program it is.
Yes. Thank you.
Keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
Keep encouraging others. It's just been so great to have you on this show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So thank you again for joining us. Prison to Purpose, Building Futures Behind Bars. Be sure to subscribe, follow this podcast, share it with others. And I always love to leave you with this line. Remember, hope doesn't stop behind the gate.
Thank you for listening to the Prison to Purpose podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit follow, subscribe, and stay connected with us for more real stories, real growth, and real transformation. Share this episode with someone who needs a little strength today. We'll see you next time.